here's a helpful video, because we've learned something. We think this is going to stick as well, because when we set up the multi-clock, we may have made an error, and I think everyone could probably make this error once they invest in this equipment, set it up, and then find the next day, once they switched it on and off, some funky things are going on until you investigate further. So mainly this is the mistake that you don't want to make. So effectively, you've got all your controls and everything. The main thing how to set the machine up is to go onto a channel and set up your offset. That's all fine. So you're going to set up your offset for each channel, and then you're going to save it. So this is where you can make a mistake, as we found out. So when you go to save the program, so you time your system, go to save the preset. You save the preset. When you save the preset, make sure that you don't save it. For instance, what I did the first time I set this up was I came into each individual channel. What I expected was this preset, say 1 to 5. It's actually more than 5. It goes way down. There's 30 of them. So I set up channel 4, I set up channel 1, 2, 3 and 4, but what I did was I saved the preset for each track on the same number. So I saved preset number 1 on 1, preset number 2 on 1, preset number 3 on 1, or channel 1, 2, 3, 4 on number 1 for each one, as far as I remember. So, and it seems to, then you switch and go through it, all seems to be what you would expect. So it's exactly how you've set it up. Until the following day. So the following day you switch the unit off, then switch it back on again, and the quirk is that because you've saved the preset for each channel, it must reload them from the one that you've saved, but now it's loaded one preset, whichever last one you saved on number 1, for instance, across all of them. Which has caught me out, because it's led to something really weird that I've picked up over the last week, because this unit here has got as it turns out, at least a fixed latency now. It's not moving like I thought it was. A fixed latency of about 15.96 milliseconds, so 16 odd milliseconds, right? And we save the preset on here. So with all that saved in, and this one we shifted it by like 0.06 milliseconds back as well. A little bit is bearable, nothing wrong with it, but when we time it with a swing, we just wanted to tweak it a little bit. So 0.6 milliseconds, 15.9, and the rest of it we just keep default 0, 0, no shift at all. It's only really because when we switch the envelope on this, we get a little bit more attack, or a little bit less of an attack lot with the envelope setting. So we can, if I go -6, it brings that lack of envelope back into the swing groove. But the main thing to know is, on the multi-clock, when you save the presets, and I'm hoping this sticks tomorrow and it doesn't come back to haunt me, choose for each setup, choose a different number. And like I say, otherwise, like I say, you turn it on and off, and then it loads the same preset for every track, and then it was like, oh, the latency's changed for this one. But what had really happened is it just defaulted all of them back to 0, including that one, which meant I had to redial that out, and every day it happened. So each time you switched it on and off and then saved it, you had to add another 15.9 milliseconds the next day. Really quirky. It definitely caught me out for a week, and I was almost going to send a support email to these guys and say it's really weird because it's getting more and more each day. but it's not. It's actually the same. It's 15. I mean, it's not an amount that I'm happy with, 15.9, but we're forgiving it because we're in love with the polyend tracker. But now we've figured out, hopefully, this box we've saved the way it's saved now. So hopefully, when we turn it back on and off, everything's going to be set up as it was. Right. So let's try that. Right. Let's try it. So we want to get out of this menu. So let's just get out of the menu. That's it, because everything's set as we want it. We're going to get, that's it, into home. So it's back like in performance sort of mode. We're just going to, I think we're going to play, just play the clock. That's it, everything, it's just yeah, so everything's in lovely timing. Great. Now the big question. So at the minute we do select channel and it says analog 4. We do select channel, it says 777, tracker, and MPC. Because what I noticed was when I did select and it went in, it just said the default for whichever preset number 1 was, which was like, what? Scratching my head here. So obviously we've done something wrong, like user error. So anyway, like turn it off, turn it back on, because it don't really, like I say in the manual, it doesn't really describe saving presets in detail, which I'm trying to go over here so no one makes the same mistake. So we turn back on again, we'll play the clock, actually, see these are switched off, we just turn them back on. There we go. That's a nice function actually, because when you clock these in, it's at the beginning, it's like the next 16th or the end of the bar. See, look. Yeah. So we can stop any of the clocks and then bring them back in. Really good. Because we've got our shifts as well. We've got our shifts calculated for the shift amount here. We should be able to shift this by a 16th note. Yeah. And back again. So that's nice, and we can go like minus a 16th note and then back in, bring back in the hi-hats, and we've got our swing unit, hi-hats off, acid off, hi-hats back on, acid back on. That's a luxury, I can tell you that. So knowing that works now, so let's check it for sure that when we do select on that channel, yeah, it says analog 4. When we do select on that channel, it says 777, and so on that one, and so on that one. So cracked it. So that's the main thing to know about this unit, is save the channel presets on a separate one. It's not a separate list of presets per channel, it's the same presets for all of them. So they're like a, I don't know what you would say, but yeah, they're global presets for all of the channels, not separate. That's it really. So we've found something out. This will probably be helpful to any new owners of the Multiclock, and you can see it's a great unit. The things you can do just then. Shifting, and you can see the shift range is for this BPM 163 BPM. The shift range is 177 milliseconds, which means when we're in performance mode we can shift that plus or minus 16th note. Yeah, so great. All right, cheers. Hopefully this will help someone from making the same mistake I did. Shh, don't tell anyone.